Welcome into the Fantasy Football Lab. Today we are doing a Dynasty rookie redraft. My name is Arlen. This is Nate. How you doing, Nate?
Doing great, feeling good. Dynasty League's doing awesome, so I'm in a good place right now, even though, most of my real life teams are kind of sucking at the moment, except for my San Diego FC. But other than that, the Chargers are on their downward spiral at the moment.
Yeah.
I just figured we'd kick it off because I know this is we got to get into this rookie discussion we're going to get into. This week's I wasn't going to talk about it too much, but San Diego FC had quite the game against this bum team that had all kinds of excuses this past weekend, even though they're playing for their lives into the playoffs or whatever.
Yeah.
But we'll see how it goes. Looking forward to potentially playing them again in the first round of playoffs. Who's that team?
The Portland Timbers. Yeah, we failed miserably. I went with my brother-in-law and sister. They have their own seats. I had sold mine. I usually sell and then rebuy. And so I decided to get a good seat. I was in like the third row, right to the right of the goal, right next to the Timbers Army. And very soon, I think I got a beer from at half, and I came back like 2 minutes late from the start, and it was 3-1 when it was 1-0 or 3-0, and it was 1-0 when I left. And it was just the first couple minutes of the second half, and quickly I got a front row seat, which was great. Everybody decided to which is very unusual for the Timbers games. People just stay, they stay. And I did not blame anyone. It was an embarrassing game by us. And yeah, hopefully tomorrow's not embarrassing. Hopefully a couple of our key players are back, and so we can get destroyed by you in the playoffs.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Cool.
All right. Well, we can get off football talk because it's also opening week for the NBA. I know you're not a big NBA guy, but the Lakers are starting this week, so it's an exciting week. Baseball's over, which is fun. So the Angels, I can stop crying about the Angels, and now we can just focus on football and look forward to both kinds of football. And
footballs.
Look forward to the NBA. The footballs.
100%. All right. First, a word from our intro.
Welcome to the Fantasy Football Lab.
Well, we mentioned at the top, we are doing a mock draft today, and it's a Dynasty rookie mock draft. I think more this year more than most going back, I feel like there's more changes that I would like to make in my choices and in the first round itself. It turned out to be kind of wild. Everyone felt, and during the draft, after the draft, it felt just like there are some rock stars. And it wasn't just the going into the draft and how you felt about it. It was like the off-season news was great. The camp was great. Preseason was great for a lot of these players. And then you go into the season, and it's still early, not in the season. We're halfway through, but it's in Dynasty. It's early to really make that final determination. But it's not too early for a lot of emotions, which I've been feeling for a few players. First, though, we are 132 subscribers on our
we're
on our way to 150. So subscribe if you've jumped on a couple videos. You like this type of stuff. We do some mock drafts like we are doing today, but we also do like history of fantasy football, like last episode, if you haven't checked it out, we have some problems in our keeper league, and we talked about kind of like just talk through some solutions that we could try to figure out and made a determination on what we're going to do going forward. So that was some commissioner corner talk. We also talked about unique league formats like Vampire League, Chop Leagues we're doing for the first time this year. But we are just nerds about fantasy football who always have these conversations and one day hit record. Quick side note, I was speaking for work at a conference in Chicago this last week, and I made the whole speech fantasy football themed, and my closing line was all about like preparing your systems, getting ready for future AI, and making sure that you have a good foundation for it right now in your work. And my closing line was, if you prepare right now, you can avoid being stuck in stale old systems like fantasy football leagues that still have kickers. that was my closing line, and vibes from the crowd on that. I think a lot of people, I had some conversations afterwards. Like, this is an option. You can just not have them. So these are the kind of conversations we like, of just how do we make fantasy football better and keep it evolved instead of just doing it the same way we've always done it because it's always the way we've done it.
I'm going to ask this just one time. While you were networking after your talk, did you mention this podcast?
You know what? I was going to say it during the speech just because, like, and because I'm a millennial, I also run a pod, and just as like a throw in a joke, but I did, but it wasn't a lot. No, I don't know if I also want to cross these worlds.
Putting that effort, I mean, you're going to put that much effort into theming your speech. People got to know why. But anyway,
my idea was, while I'm nervous, if I start off by telling fantasy football story and transitioning into how that actually applies to the whole thing, then I get past the nervous 5 minutes because I'm talking about something I love, and it worked.
Good strategy.
I did all right.
Good strategy.
Yeah.
Well, as we jump into this thing, I do want to say, as we talk about these rookies, it's going to be super important for us to like really dig into this because a lot more of us this year, probably more than before, and this is all anecdotal, but probably more than before, we're probably relying on a lot more of the rookies that we didn't anticipate because of the insane amount of injuries that have been going on this year.
Yeah.
I feel like this is one of the worst years for key players getting injured, missing multiple weeks. So I just wanted to pull one out before we start.
Next level of it, for sure.
But yeah.
Like the next level of those depth charts too, because I benefited from it in a week where it was, I think Tracy, Harris, and not Carter. Why is he escaping me? He's out of the league now, so I'm eliminating him. Arizona.
Connor.
Those three went down, and I had the backups, and they all benefited immediately from it. And then they all went down minus Skattebo.
Literally all of them.
Yeah. So it's been multiple different layers of just ouch and across the board. It's been a really tough year and a great year for if you play vampire leagues and you're living off the waivers and trying to steal some wins. But let's jump into it. We're going to do our mock draft. All right, man. Well, I'm interested to see kind of where you stand with some of this stuff. And we both had some early picks. So I'm interested to see like if you would keep the picks that you originally had or if we're swapping them around. I know that I'm probably switching at least one of mine, but let's take a look and see.
All right. So we'll jump into this here. So as we go through, I wish I could do it all over again. Rookie redraft. The mock version, Rookie Redraft 2.0. If I had the first overall pick, I probably would not. Although Gentie is the future, and I think the Raiders can build around him, and he's going to have a great career. And I'm not mad that I have him as my first overall pick. But if I were redrafting today, because I had 1.0 real draft, I would actually go with a guy that I thought was a fallback guy, and I would pick up. Keep scrolling.
Oh, you can see this one? Is this the wrong one?
Yeah, I can see
Egbuka?
this.
Oh, okay,
yeah, I'd pick up Emeka Egbuka. Yeah.
I meant to do it on my other one that you can't see. Yeah, you know what? Tell me more about it.
Yeah, so he's proven at the beginning of the season, I said, this is kind of like the third draft pick, right? Like the third guy, the consolation prize, I think is what I called him, of the wide receiver rounds. I thought it was going to go Tet, Hunter, then Egbuka. I think that's how they were drafted. That's how I had him ranked. But he's made an instant impact. Was a quarterback that's playing like he's an MVP. And what everyone thought about him is exactly what's happening. He's playing around guys that can't stay healthy. And like, dude, horrific injury for Mike Evans this past week. But that just means great things for Egbuka and another rookie that I'll probably talk about later.
Yeah, I agree. This is who I would pick at 101 too. I really tried hard to get a third pick in there. I really wanted to get Egbuka, but I was also, there's a possibility I would have been tempted and taken Loveland because I loved him a lot during that. So it could have been bad. But Egbuka I think is a good pick here. I'm torn on the next one. I almost want you to just do two in a row. I'm gonna go Gentie here, but there's somebody that I think I want to take above him, but I think that's an overreaction right now. I'm gonna go Gentie. He's still solid. There's a horrible line issue. We're talking Dynasty. It's a running back, so you don't have like many years. But if they have solid quarterback play, if somebody else comes in or the line gets a little stronger, there's multiple things that can happen. Gentie has just shown that he can blow up still. Him himself, he is impressive to watch, but it's a mess right now. So, and the other person is not without their situational problem. So I'll just go Gentie and hate it a bit.
I'm sitting here wondering who you're battling over. So I'll find out here in a minute, obviously. But there's like your emotional pick, the guy that
Yeah.
like just you have loved so much and we both get so excited for, or your homer pick.
Yeah.
So I can see that. But just for the pure excitement of it and what we've seen so far, and I'd like to take a running back here, and the other guy's injured, and I don't know what's going to happen to him, so I would go Skattebo here.
Really?
I know, I just wanted to see your reaction.
Oh, that's not true?
No, that's not true, dude.
Oh, you made me
too early.
You made me so. It's way too early, but you made me really
It's
happy
way too
because you
early,
know how
but
much I love that man.
It was funny to watch you react. No, I enjoyed that.
You got me.
But gosh, I think here Judkins looks like the guy in Cleveland.
He's special.
So I would probably go him here.
Would you do Gentie above Judkins?
Yeah, I can make an argument for either one. If I were picking today,
that was the debate I had it too.
Yeah. If I were picking today, I would pick probably Judkins even over Gentie right now, but I can see either way. Gentie, I think, probably is the better talent, but from what we're seeing on the field, Judkins is special, man. And you guys finally found somebody, which I'm excited for you, I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't long after Chubb. Like, that's the one thing we know how to pick is a solid running back in that system, right?
Fair enough.
All right, so next up, I would probably go wide receiver here. And the only one that obviously would make sense, I'm going to go McMillan. Judkins is really special. I would pick him above McMillan. I'm about there with Gentie and Judkins almost the same. I think I would probably, if it were my team, I might do Judkins over Gentie just because I think if there's a more immediate return or more like I trust it more right now. And my team is like going for it right now. If I had a little bit more time, like I didn't need it this year. I could have it next year. Then I think Gentie might be the smarter pick. Tetairoa McMillan is who I'll pick here. He had the 2 touchdown game before, and he's looked really good. And it still goes, and it's still true that it's been like 100% hit rate of these top 10 picks that were projected top 10 at wide receiver being real game changers and like stud level. So I think that he has the ability to do the same thing. He's on kind of a crap team, and Bryce Young hasn't been really playing well, and he's still adequate and performing and even has that multiple touchdown game. I think through like, I don't know what he did last. I have to go back and look what he did last week, but I think over the first like 6 games, it was like 27 catches, 380 yards, 2 touchdowns in that one game. Yeah, I'm excited to see what he sees the rest of the season, and they have just more of a longevity wide receiver than running back. So I was torn a little bit between 3 different players at this position. So whoever you don't take on this next one, I'd be happy to take next. But there's a few good players left here that are, I think, a talent of the draft.
Yeah, I think here it's still Hampton for me. I would pick, and this is real.
Yeah.
But this is he's hurt right now, but we saw the flashes of what he can be. Najee Harris is out. And after the flash of what they're seeing from Hampton, I think they're going to go get running back help. They have to go get running back help because I think he's projected to miss more than the 4 week.
Yeah, he is.
But even when whoever they get for the help coming in, Hampton's going to be the guy when he comes back. It's just the talent was too pure. So it's someone I would grab here and I'm excited about.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to grab the other person that it was between Hampton, McMillan, and I think a true difference maker when you can lock up the tight end position. Tyler Warren, I think, is about where he went. I think he went like maybe 2 picks later or something in our real league, and that was one of the few that were pretty close, if not exact in most leagues, to where you probably should have taken him.
Yeah. You were a Loveland fan over Warren, though, right?
It was about 50-50, like it was a tiebreaker, but I didn't go back and forth. Loveland stayed ahead for me, and I don't know if it was the name. I don't know. I don't know if it was where he was going, and I didn't trust it as much. I thought Loveland would take a little longer to develop because of how many it need to be settled there, and they need to figure their stuff out. And that still might be the case. I don't think that he's as bad as. I don't think his situation is as bad as it feels right now. I think he's still even in a redraft. I think he might be someone you want to stash for a couple of weeks and see what happens, because his usage has been going up, his snap percentage has been going up. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes a few steps up. I don't think he's going to match Warren, but Warren is definitely, obviously, a difference maker and very consistent. So I think it's fair to put him here, and I wouldn't. I mean, maybe we could have put him at the 4, 5, or 6. So
very true. All right. I think I'd be looking, depending on what I want to do here.
This is where it starts getting gross.
This is where it gets gross. So because I know what I know, if this wasn't me walking into the season before the season started, and I know what I know, and at least it's fine, and I'm going to get some immediate return. I have no idea the longevity of this guy's career, but this is where my actual Skattebo pick is going to come into play.
Okay, that's still
early.
Yeah, it's still early, but I get it. I love the man. He's solid. He's so fun to watch.
He might only play 2 years in the league. I don't know, man.
You know what? I've never had a player like him on my team where in Dynasty I could have him forever and I could sell him really, really high right now, because I feel like you're right. Like, this Cran Eater can only take so much of how he plays before he's out. But I right now know that if it's not due to age, and it's just that worry, at a certain point I'll sell any running back. But this one, I feel like I just want to ride into the sunset. However long it lasts, cool. That's fine.
Yeah.
I just want to keep. He's just so fun to watch when he's on your team. He's just so silly.
Yeah. So for me, like, this is definitely this year pick in a Dynasty league because it's just fun. But I will say probably too early. If this was a ranking and not a draft, this is way too high on him. But it's okay.
Yeah. You often suggest that people go get their guy. I think this is a go get your guy kind of moment, but I also think that there's a big chance that this is a valid place for him. All right. This is
yeah, it starts getting real gross here.
Yeah. This is not just because of the game that this person had, but it's also there's a skill set here that has flashed. It flashed really big this last weekend. It's a wide receiver position, and I think that there's still a chance that this person is who we were thinking he was. I'm going to go for Hunter here. I mean, at this point especially, you don't know a lot of the end of the story. There's question marks on everybody, but Hunter is outstanding. for me especially, I like because I have Brian Thomas Jr., and if either goes down, the other shoots to the moons. So, and then they're serviceable in the meantime, especially when we have 4 flex. But Hunter, I think it's a solid bet still. He's still a top 10, number 2 overall, and the hit rate on that is just too consistent. There's the variable that hasn't been tested, which is playing both sides of the ball, but it seems lately like they want to really focus more on offense with him. And I feel like that you can only go so long as Hunter trying to do both, where before you go, okay, let me focus on one, get that, and then maybe work on the other, because he doesn't want to suck either. I don't think he
Right.
wants to be, and it's hard to do both. I'm not saying that he won't get to that place, but I think you should lock in one with a sprinkling of the other, and then maybe work on the other thing, the other side of the ball. And it feels like that's what they're doing. And I don't see him putting up a big fight when he has a game like that, and he sees, oh, if I'm focused more on this, this is the type of contribution I can have to this team. Now with Brian
Right.
Thompson banged up a little bit, maybe it's even more of that focus. And I think there's a tipping point of you can't go back if it's so successful.
Yeah, so Hunter makes sense there for sure. I'm nervous about him, so I'd give myself a 10-foot pole and stay away from Hunter for a little bit, because what I was nervous about at the beginning of the season, I'm still nervous about today. But we are seeing some flashes. And we're in that area right now of the rankings, 6 games in, where everything feels wrong and right at the same time. There's probably 10 guys that you could justify picking here.
He had 14 targets this last week. Actually, I think his snap percentage is not in front of me. I think it was going up anyways, but I think this week specifically.
Yeah, it's
I don't
almost
know
90%, 87%.
Yeah, that's what you're hoping to see. And I think we're going to see a little bit more of that in the coming weeks. All right. I have 2 players in mind for the next one. So let's see if you take one of them and make my decision a little easier.
I'm probably not, because I'm going to go a little wild here and jump around a bit. Am I?
Are you?
Yeah, I'm going. So this one, we've seen the talent quite a bit. I'm probably not going to get too crazy, but we've seen the talent there flash. The wide receiver room is still crazy. I thought he'd be popping more at this point in the season. We've seen some big plays come out of this guy, but no touchdowns yet because of how many folks are available that just won't go away in his offense. But I still love the talent of Matthew Golden.
Yeah, that's what I thought you might. That's not one of my 2, but I get it.
Yeah, I thought he would flash it. I think he's still probably on trajectory to be the most talented wide receiver in that wide receiver room. But there's just guys that have been relied on for so long there that it'll take a while to crack. And he doesn't have the benefit that Egbuka has with people getting injured all the time. Well, he does, but they still have a lot of guys there.
Yeah, I think that there's a you've seen enough to see that he is really good, and I don't think there's a clear alpha there, so I don't think it happens this year. But yeah, as long as you see a few more flashes this year, I feel like that validates that pick. You didn't make it any easier for me, but I'm gonna go Trevion Henderson here. I think
You've loved him.
I paid a lot for him. I got him after, and I traded in my future picks for this man after the flashes that I saw in preseason. He looked electric. He hasn't been giving the opportunity. It's one of those stupid things where, you over punish players on only running backs when they fumble. And it's not like the other players on this team don't have that same issue, but right now it seems like the truth is Trevion Henderson is not their dude. It's Stevenson, but the talent is still there, and I'm confident in the talent itself. And if he ever gets the opportunity, I think it's going to be electric. And he's tied to Drake May, who I'm a big believer in. So I think whether it's they move forward, they realize the talent, or they drop Stevenson or there's an injury, whenever his time comes, I believe that he'll take advantage of it. Just like with Hampton, he took off when he got the opportunity. Skattebo took off when he got the opportunity. Now we just have to wait for that opportunity with Henderson, and something that feels a little unsettling now to pick feels great if that comes.
All right, so for this one, he's looking like he's going to be a dude. And so because we feel so gross about a lot of the skills players here, this dude is going to be the first QB off the board.
Yep.
And his name is just kidding, Jackson Dart.
This is another one I tried really hard to go get. But yeah, I think it's a good pick here. This is who I was debating between on the last pick.
Yeah, Jackson Dart, he's looking like the guy. And his coming out party, unfortunately, was against my Chargers. But he just looks so good doing it.
Imagine if he had a star wide receiver throw at like Neighbors.
Yeah. Well, he lost him in that game and still looked phenomenal. He's got a rushing touchdown in all but one of his starts. So he's got 3 rushing touchdowns already. He's thrown for 6, 7. Whoa. He's thrown for 7 touchdowns. Didn't mean to do that.
Hey.
That was not on purpose. He looks like he's going to be the guy, and hopefully, they needed this type of quarterback in New York. Even though they already had a guy, he was like, they had a him already. They just didn't know how to use him. But that him found a new spot, so it's fine. And Jackson Dart looks like he's going to be the guy.
Yeah. They trade away Daniel Jones, who has, I think I was listening, I think it was the Fantasy Footballers maybe, where they were talking about it was like the 2002 or 2007 or something like that. Patriots set a record of like the most, I forgot what it was. It was like the most completions, the most yards and points or something. It was like it was a production stat. I forgot exactly what it was, but it's Daniel Jones now, and those Colts are now, they're beating it. They're projected, it probably won't last, but they're projected to beat that like historic all-time great offense, which is just insanity. But Dart, I think it's still a good move. If you can switch Daniel Jones to Dart, I think it wasn't working. Sometimes it's just a fit within the system. Dart is awesome. His Anakin Skywalker eye paint is awesome. The 3 of those, the Neighbors, Skattebo, Dart, it's a complete turnaround for that team, and it's fun to watch. It's fun to root for a team like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Except for his coming out party, but other than that, it's fine. Good rooting for him ever since.
Let's see. This is getting gross. Yeah, we'll probably just go power through as many as we can in the second round and end it because I don't know anymore. I think that I think I'll go RJ Harvey here. I'm not a huge fan of him, but it's an opportunity. He could, like, he showed that he can do some stuff. It's not sexy, but it's, at this point, you're just looking for somebody who could even possibly contribute now. And he's one injury of a running back that has an injury history away from being needed all the time and started in your lineup every week. So RJ Harvey, if I'm holding someone on my bench because there's a huge possibility in redraft I'm holding him, then in Dynasty, that's a rookie pick.
Yeah, fair enough. He's just one of those guys that just has someone that won't get out of the way in front of him. He's shown flashes. Looks like he can be the guy. Everyone was like hyped up. This is another example. This is not my pick, but this is another example where Bill had a good shot of everyone got out of his way and he's not showing as much as everyone anticipated him to.
Yeah.
Whereas RJ Harvey's got that. RJ Harvey, Trayvon Henderson, those guys are both still waiting for their guy to get out of the way.
I think Bill Kroski is like the Tracy of this year. I think that's a fair, like, whoever comes into Washington next year is, I'm going to draft that rookie or go after that rookie because I'm not afraid of them overtaking. I think Skattebo, there's a lot of Tracy believers that are like, no, Tracy's it. I think whoever goes in, Bill's done, and it's that new person.
Right. Yeah. I'm on the same. Yeah. He had his opportunities, and it sucks to say it like that because it's his rookie season and he only had a few weeks. So maybe we're wrong and maybe he flashes next year or he needs a couple years out. But yeah, we'll see. All right. It's still gross, but I'm going to go, I don't know, say his name. Ayomanor here.
Ayomanor.
Ayomanor. Yeah.
Ayomanor. Yeah.
Just purely on the opportunities that he has, right? So like, Cam Ward hasn't figured this out yet out there, but the snap percentages look good. He's out there all the time. He's almost 100% snap percentage this last week. He's over 90% the last 2 weeks. So he's got the opportunities there. They're going to keep giving him shots and chances. They just let Tyler Lockett walk because he was such an impact. So the opportunities are going to be there for this guy. So yeah, that's who I'm going with there.
All right. I would be okay with my next pick anywhere in the last 3 or 4 picks. But Loveland is, I think we're getting spoiled with these Laportas and Bowers and Warren and honest, it's just not that clean cut. I think he has the possibility of being, not saying that he's going to rise to the level of McBride, but McBride had a whole year where he was complete garbage. And then it blew our mind of like, why was this person, you feel like you burned that pick. And then the next year, last year, he just goes off and you're like, oh, how did he escape an entire year of production? And I think Loveland will show it before the end of this year, but I still believe in him. I still think that he's solid. He was drafted pretty high, and most of the time, tight ends take time to develop. It takes time to give them the snaps and the routes. Coming out of the bye week, he had 2 games of it looked like there was more intent to use him. So I think that's a big signal to me. Whenever a team comes out of a bye, during the bye, they really sit down and go, okay, what do we need to adjust and what players are we not utilizing? And when they do that, and then you see a change right after that bye week, it's usually a sign that they had that conversation that this needs to happen. And I think Loveland, I think there's brighter days ahead of him. And in redraft, it's not a must stash, but if you've got an extra spot, it's somebody that I would definitely be looking at throwing on the end of my bench.
All right. Well, I'm going to keep this tight end train going because this guy was one of my hot takes at the beginning of the season.
Oh, this is a homer pick.
Yeah, it's a homer pick, but it was one of my hot takes at the end of the season. And what I said is finally coming to fruition. I said in the second half, look to this guy because Herbert and the Chargers love throwing to their tight ends. Herbert was making Will Disley look like a guy last year.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, they love it. And this guy is a pass catcher and playmaker that looks insane. It's a crowded pass catcher offense, but at the same time, they have no running back help. And so the short intermediate just move the chains type passes are what's happening. And yes, that's also what Keenan Allen does. Yes, that's also what Ladd McConkey does. But more often than not, recently he's been going to Oronde Gadsden.
Yeah.
I like it here for a tight end world that is tough to find a good tight end in.
Would you?
This is a guy.
I've been toying around with the idea of, and I don't think it would even go through, and I don't think I actually want this, but who would you be picking first, Loveland or Gadsden?
Who would I be picking first?
Yeah.
Today, I would be picking Gadsden.
That's tough, man. I don't know. I want to say Gadsden. I still believe that Loveland could end up being much more valuable within a year. But Gadsden, I mean, I don't know if it's recency bias. I know that he's been performing, but this last week was obviously a whole nother level. When you see that and it looks purposeful and not accidental, then you kind of want to just jump early. But he's unfortunately on a player's team who really does not like to trade with me because they look at, if I want it, they're like, that must be somebody I should keep. It's really frustrating. It's, I guess, flattering and frustrating.
Fair enough. Right. Yeah, I mean, it's tough because Chicago has proven that it takes a year to be a pass catcher in that offense, i.e. Odunze's breakout year this year.
Yeah.
So you
I'm
could
back
be
in
100%
on Loveland.
right. Yeah.
I also have Bowers, like he's banged up, so I'll have him by the playoffs, I'm sure. But for me, I guess I wouldn't be playing if I believe that Loveland might be a thing, then I wouldn't it's not like I'm hurting for him right now. All right, Luther Burden. I'm going to keep on the Chicago trend here. Luther Burden is who I'd pick next. He's also one of those ones, like this is like an overused statement now at this point in the draft that has flashed that he can do something, but it also seems like it's a similar story with Loveland that it's going to take a little bit to develop with the team after the bye. It seems like they're actually wanting to use him a little bit more, and he's really not doing much, but he's also doing it part-time, but it's going up. This is more than anything, it's a talent pick, and just he's not going to become I'm not drafting a hopeful number one on a team right now, but DJ Moore is starting to look obsolete. There's not really much else going in Chicago outside of Odunze, so let's just hope that Burden slides into that number 2.
It's like, should I keep the Chicago love going?
Who would it be?
It would be a stretch. He's doing well this year because of injuries, but I don't think the value's there. But because we keep talking about Chicago, I was going to keep talking about Chicago. And really, because I don't know who to pick next.
There is that Bill guy.
I know. But we just talked about, I don't think the value is going to be there. But yeah, I mean, just to talk about him, yeah, let's put Bill in. I'll grab Bill here and then just say he's got the opportunity right now, and he's still got more of the season to prove himself. Jeremy McNichols is going to be around forever. 29-year-old McNichols, which is past the peak, and they keep giving him the ball. But we'll give Kroski Merritt.
I was about to say I couldn't find Bill, but I found Ja'Cory.
Good job finding Ja'Cory. Yeah, he had a great game. Again against my Chargers was his best game. We're having problems with running backs recently. I don't know if you've noticed. Jordan Mason folks light him up this week, apparently on Thursday. Even with Aaron Jones coming off of the IR. Because we apparently can't stop a running back to save our lives.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's the correct pick, and it's also a pick that I don't like. So I think
feel
both
gross
things
about
are
it.
true.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I needed you to talk me into it because I wasn't.
I think it made sense. My next one. Yep. I think Mason Taylor is one of the few players left that this could still be a value at. So I think this is a good pick, especially Garrett Wilson banged up, making a switch at quarterback, even though it's not to anybody impressive, but it could just give him a little bit more of a boost. But he's been solid. I think I have him in one league in a redraft in no dynasties, but in dynasty he's obviously, I think, much more attractive. I don't think he'll ever get to be the top tier, but I think he's a long-term starter, maybe a craft-like player, and yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, I mean, he's out there all the time. It's like over
don't have
80% of the snaps
much
shared the
else to
last 4
throw
games.
to.
Yeah. And Tyrod Taylor's coming on, so might love those tight ends a little bit more.
Did they confirm that they're going away from Fields?
Yeah, they confirmed him. Tyrod as a starter this
My
week.
Vampire League is so excited that now I'm forced into Geno Smith with no backups.
I'm doing so poorly in so many of those leagues.
Mm-hmm. All right. Who you got?
All right, there's not much left here, so I don't know how deep we're going.
We're going to try to hit the end of the second round here. We can do like back-to-back real quick.
All right, fine. I don't like either of these wide receivers that are still here enough.
Yeah.
All right, well, just because of recency, and he's fun to talk about, even though he's got to watch what he does around hot mics in the end zone. Mr. Irrelevant for me, I'm going to grab Tez Johnson here.
Yeah, that was funny. Hot mic moment for sure. That's a funny. I didn't even consider him, but I think that's a good pick. I think you're right.
Yeah, he's a speedster, and he's got to learn the offense a little bit better because he's had some really, really screwy moments. Just that he's not on the same page as Baker, but when he's open, dude, this guy's a monster. Anyway, keep rolling.
Cool. I did, but we could just go right past it. This is a 2026 pick. He has such a crap start, but he had such a great college career. Looked like he could do something in the NFL, and I don't feel like he played himself out of a role. I feel like he just didn't have that spot, and they have a decent set of players there. So I'm just hoping that he finds himself a spot next year. And that's about where we are in the draft. If it's going to be these backups and who has a better chance of popping off a year from now or in case of injury. But the problem is they had injury and he didn't do it. So let's really just look for next year. All right. Who's the other wide receiver that you're thinking of now that you're picking?
Well, I said I didn't like them. Just felt like I had to grab them. So I'm actually going to go running back here. I'm going to bring Chicago back into the fold because I actually really like Kyle Monangai.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That's better than Caleb.
I like Kyle Monangai. I wanted him in our rookie draft. Eli got him, and there's no trading with that guy sometimes. So I wanted Kyle Monangai just because he's in a 45-55 split right now with Swift and showing production. So take him.
Yeah. I went for Smith here, hoping there's a window to break through and take over Pacheco, who is, I feel like he just has not bounced back from the injury, and I don't know if he will. So going Smith there. Who you got on the next one?
I'm just going to go with another fun one because he looks special on special teams, and maybe that buys him some more time. But they got to figure out who another pass catcher is in Seattle, and I'm hoping his name is Torrey Horton.
Yeah, I kind of missed him. I had him. I drafted him way later than this. All right, yeah, he's fun. All right, I'm gonna do Higgins. I'm gonna do Higgins to round off round 2. So that's the first 24 picks of the draft. Let us know where we were wrong. Let us know what you would have done differently and who maybe we left out. I know there's going to be at least 1 or 2 people. When we did our redraft for our redraft mock draft, we forgot quarterbacks and then it went out on quarterback run in like the 4th or 5th. But Ward didn't hit the list at all in the first couple of rounds. I'm interested to see where he would have gone. But this is our first 2 rounds that I think the biggest one that kind of shocked me is two. One that, Egbuka being up so high. I'll go 3 of them. Skattebo being up so high now, but also how high I still really was wanting to pick Hunter. He was picked with the 6th pick in our real draft. And only 2 rounds later, even after a disappointing start, let's just not go crazy on a lot of these players and like overreact too soon, especially in like the wide receiver tight end spot that might take a little bit longer.
Yeah, for me, I think Harvey went earlier than I potentially would have taken him here. And then we also had 4, so 2 things, this sound weird, but we had 4 tight ends in our top 24, which
it's true.
A little bit surprising, but I also feel like we're missing one. Because Fannin didn't make the top 24.
That's fair. Yeah, he should probably be the 3.1. Because I think you're right. I think he's different, and they seem to be ready to trade Njoku. So I'm gonna put him there.
Honorable mention.
Yeah, it's just
mention Fannin.
Cool. Well, this has been the Fantasy Football Lab. I'm Arlen. This is Nate. Don't forget to subscribe, but more importantly, comment in the box below. Let us know what you think, and we'd love to collect some questions from you. Have a questions episode. Collect your opinions and go back and forth with you. We have replied to 100% of the messages that have come our way, so we'd love to reply to yours. Cheers, man. It's been real.
Later. Peace.